Hello and welcome. My name is Xander. I will be your instructor through this tutorial. Now, this tutorial is actually part of a whole course which you can access the first stages for free here on YouTube. Now, in this tutorial, I might mention resources and other tutorials. Do check out the link in the video description, which will take you to the playlist, and also there will be a link to the resources so that you can access and follow along here on YouTube. Now, if you like this course, you found it useful, and you want to take that next step, you can find this course over at Udemy. All the links to the resources can be found in the video description. Now, don't forget, also subscribe to the channel for weekly promotions, discounts, and free course giveaways. We have so far learned how to insert into a table single records. So let's take a look at using SQL, how to potentially insert bulk records into a table. Inserting multiple records into a table or your database really is going to be very situational. There are a variety of different approaches you can take to insert data. In this module, we will explore how to, for example, insert data from a JSON file or a CSV file. But in this tutorial, we're going to focus in on purely SQL. Using the insert query that we initially learned in the previous tutorial can be an efficient way to add multiple categories into your table with specific attributes, name slugs, active statuses, and so on. So let's use the same insert statement we started in the previous tutorial. Here we are logged into our database, of course. We have the name slug is active and level. That's what we want to insert into. And now we can simply load multiple values. So let's specify the values. So from there, using each record that we want to insert encapsulated in parentheses, we simply need to supply each record individually, and then we end up with the semicolon when we finished. Now, if we were working within an application, we could potentially construct this query programmatically before we then go ahead and execute this statement. This should insert multiple records. We can further test that by using select all from the category table. Let's have a look at the data. We now have, looks like 10 rows in our category table. You may have less if you haven't been following along in the previous tutorials, but at this point, we haven't removed any data from previous examples, so we still have the 8 rows. Remember, if you do want to remove all the data, what you're going to need to do is run the delete on the table. So delete from the category table. Okay, so we've deleted all the records. So we should have, move up, no rows left now in the category table. So this is the SQL approach for inserting multiple rows. This is more efficient than, for example, inserting a record at a time, because it's going to minimize the number of times the database has to process the insert command. So if we were to, for example, insert these records individually, then they will need to be processed individually. Using this approach to insert multiple records can significantly improve performance when inserting multiple rows. As I alluded to at the start, there are other approaches which we will cover in this course, where we'll take a look at inserting from JSON and CSV. Something else you might be interested in is bulk inserting from another table. So it's possible with SQL to insert from other tables. So this is the type of syntax that might be needed to perform that type of operation. So the fact is that inserting multiple rows at once is a better approach than inserting each row one by one, especially when dealing with large data sets. The insert statement allows us to efficiently add multiple rows to, in this case, the category table in one go.